Libra, and welcome to your April 2016 tarot reading. My name is Nikki. Before I begin, I would like to remind you that this is a general reading, so if you are interested in something just for you, you can visit my website. I will have it linked in the description below. I offer tarot readings for $15, and there are other offers and deals on there, so make sure to check those out. Okay, also before we begin, I would like to point your attention to the gemstones above the cards. That large one on the left is an Imperial Topaz. I'm resonating with Topaz for the month of April because it is the mystic birthstone for April. Topaz is a wonderful gemstone to work with. It can aid you with memory and just mental abilities in general. And it has a lot of other healing properties. So if you are interested in learning more about that, you can watch the video that I've made on Topaz. It's just a couple minutes long and it covers a lot of information. So yeah, I will also link that in the description below so you can find it a lot easier. Okay, so laid before you is your monthly spread. And for this month, I am using my Chrysalis deck, so things might have some unfamiliar names, but they do have traditional meanings. And for the first week, you have the Three of Spirals in reverse. Spirals are wands, so this is the same thing as the Three of Wands in reverse. So, you know, in this first week, there may be some delays going on. There may be some hiccups in some plans that you have made. If you've expected any kind of money or financial returns from investments, something may be going awry there. Sorry for any background noise. There's a helicopter flying by. So yeah, in that first week, there could be some setbacks going on, and it could just simply be something small, like perhaps you made plans with friends and they canceled on you. And make sure that, you know, in this first week you're not setting unrealistic goals. Don't set yourself up for disappointment and things like that. Try not to sabotage yourself by you know, making your expectations too high, building yourself up and that sort of thing. Try to stay realistic and logical, and any kind of plans that you make, try to be very reasonable with those plans. In the second week of April, you have the Pilgrim, which is the Page of Scrolls, and scrolls are swords, so this is the Page of Swords. Swords are air, and Libra, you are air, so I do think that this is you playing in this role. So I see you entering a new venture or a new project or something that you're very excited about. You know, you're very good with your words, you're very intelligent, and you're charming, and you know how to work things, and you know how to work people, and sometimes, you know, knowing how to do those things can give you a bit of a big ego, or some, you know, some pride, and that's all, those are all good things. But since it is a page, you want to be sure that you know what you're doing, and pages generally don't, because they're new at what they're starting, they're new at what they're doing, they're new, just like the Pilgrim, they're new to this land. So any kind of advice or help that you can get from somebody older than you, or somebody more experienced in this specific field, would be very wise. You know, so don't shun away from any kind of help that could come in your way. Also, pages could be, they could be messengers, so you may be relaying a message in the second week, you know, and whatever it is that you're relaying, I do think that it's going to be positive news that would make you happy, and you're excited to deliver it. So, you know, you may want to, you know, you may be expecting a phone call in the second week, or you may be making a phone call or visiting somebody and delaying this good news. Okay, in the third week of April, you have the Eight of Spirals. Spirals, again, are wands, so this is the Eight of Wands. So things are moving quickly in this third week. Things are kind of going with the wind, you know, whichever way the wind blows, and they're kind of out of your control. So there are situations or circumstances that you have very little to do with. You may be involved in them, but you have very little power over them, and you're just there to see how the pieces will lay about. So time may slip away from you in this third week. You know, you may be looking at the clock and be like, oh my gosh, it's already 5. You know, I thought it was 2 or something like that. So, so yeah, things will fly by. This will be a time of rush, 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 busy, 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 and hardly any time to think. So yeah, things are rolling along with very little. What I'm trying to say is you have very little willpower or very little will when it comes to the things that are going on in this third week. So so yeah, just sit back and watch how the pieces fall, and and hopefully they fall where you like them to. In this last week of April, you have the Eight of Scrolls. So this is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords is usually about, you know, feeling trapped. It's about having fear and kind of like a self-imprisonment. It's usually a mental thing to where you are perhaps thinking about a situation that you're in and you don't know how to get out of it. Or perhaps it has to do with feelings. Perhaps you feel a certain way and you don't know how to stop feeling that way. You know, the good news about the Eight of Scrolls or the Eight of Swords is that this is usually a mental thing that's holding you back, that's holding you captive. It is overcomable. You just may need to get help. So some of you may need to seek professional help for that. Some of you just may be having a downtime. You know, we all have those days where our self-esteem is kind of low, or, you know, we're having a bad hair day or whatever. And, you know, in a couple hours or the next day, we're completely over it. So it's going to be a little different for each and every one of you. So keep that in mind. And that's really it. With the Eight of Scrolls or the Eight of Swords, the power really lies within you. You know, you can bring yourself out of that self-imprisonment with just some positive thinking. So if you are spending too much time alone, I advise you to get out and to mingle, be around others in society, and get your mind on positive things. Okay, so that is your reading in its entirety, Libra. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, please push that like button and subscribe, because I do this every single month, and I will look forward to talking to you again next month. Bye-bye.